everyone! So today I am coming to you with a book video, finally! But first, look at how fabulous this skirt is! It's spring, everyone! It's spring! I am coming to you with the Passenger Book Challenge, which Christina Horner started in honor of the book Passenger. And basically, you're supposed to go all around the world with books. So I love reading international writers and stuff, so I figured this was the perfect little challenge for me. So the first country I am coming to you with is my mother country of India, and I'm coming to you with A Time to Dance by Padma Venkatraman. I already made a review of this book, and I will link it at the end of the video and in the description, so enjoy that. It is a fantastic book. Number 2 is the country that I actually live in and was born and brought up in, the US of A. Got Feathers by Jacqueline Woodson, Blueprints for Building Better Girls by Elisa Chappell, Light of My Life, Lori Moore's Birds of America, Breakfast at Tiffany's by Truman Capote, Epic Adventures of Lydia Bennet by Rachel Kiley, First and Then by Emma Mills, The Norton Anthology of American Literature Beginnings to 1820, The Norton Anthology of American Literature 1820 to 1865, or Volume B of that one. The Poetry of Emily Dickinson. The Big Bang by Simon Singh. Anne Beattie's Love Always. I have a lot of American books, guys. It's a bit of an issue. Next is the country that I lived in once for a year, because I'm just going by countries I have a connection to. And that is England. Let's see what books I have from there. The Norton Anthology of English Literature, the Victorian Age. The Norton Anthology of English Literature, the 16th century, early 17th century, Volume B. Norton Anthology of English Literature, the Middle Ages, Volume A. The Double Helix by James D. Watson, asshole. Great Expectations by Charles Dickens, the Norton Critical Edition. You know I'm an English major when I have all of the Nortons. All of them. So let's move on from the English-speaking imperialist countries, also my home countries and places I've lived, to Austria-Hungary / Prague with The Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. Yeah, it's a classic, everyone knows it, he wakes up and turns into a bug. It's super interesting to study, and I really enjoyed it the 5th time I read it. Whoa, it was first published in 1916. We're going around the world and time traveling today. So let's continue on Europe and head on over to France, one of my favorite countries that I've never been to. This is one of my favorite childhood books, and unfortunately I don't have it on hand because it's in my childhood home. It is Madeline by Ludwig Bemelins. I love it so much. I used to read the books. It was one of the first books I ever read. I used to watch the TV show, and it's just one of those books that's close to my heart and made me always want to go to Paris. So let's head south into the Middle East with Afghanistan. The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini is amazing. I know there's a lot of hype about it, but it really does live up to the hype as long as you avoid it as much as possible the way I did. It's heartwarming, it's heart-wrenching, and lovely. Now let's head south to Africa. This is another book I don't have on hand. This is Americana by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. She is an incredible writer. Oh my god. I've been thinking about this book pretty much non-stop since I read it in January. It's just amazingly written, and there's so many social issues. This book takes place half in Nigeria, half in America, so I kind of counted it in the Nigeria. Also, it's a Nigerian writer, so that works in my favor in this case. Let's stay in Africa for a little bit with a book I actually do have on hand. This is Arrows of Rain by Oke Ndibe. It takes place in a fictional African nation, so unfortunately I can't exactly put it in a country, but I'm 90% sure Oke Ndibe is Nigerian. So yeah, Arrows of Rain is an amazing and fantastic suspenseful book, and it's super interesting, and it's great to get insight into sort of the African culture that Oke Ndibe represents. The next book I do not have on me, but we're going even further south. One might say down under. I recently read The Rosie Project by Graeme Simsion. I really hope that's how you pronounce the name, but The Rosie Project is like if The Big Bang Theory was actually done well, and I actually enjoyed it. It's a fun, light book with like some serious undertones, and basically it's about this guy who is a lot like Sheldon in The Big Bang Theory. He tries to develop a formula to find the perfect wife, and instead he finds this woman named Rosie. such a fantastic book. We're going back up to the Middle East with The Last Illusion by Porchista Kakpour. This is a fantastically interesting book about a lot of things. It's about 9/11. It half takes place in New York, but it's also about this boy who lived in a bird cage in Iran, and it's just so interesting. It's very like psychological and has a lot of different strings that come together at the very end, and it's kind of about the lead up to 9/11, but also about just like the psychology of fear and trauma and existence. It's so interesting. It like captivated me so much, and I actually got the chance to see Porchista Kakpour talk about this book, and it was fantastic. And I actually have to give this to a friend who's been waiting on it for many months. So Frankie, if you're watching this, we gotta meet up and do that. So for the next book, we are staying in the Middle East, sort of. Like with The Last Illusion, we're sort of staying in the Middle East with War of the Encyclopedists by Christopher Robinson and Gavin Covite. This is another book that I bought after watching the reading and talking about the book. This is half about the war on terror, and the other half is about being a grad student in America, and it's about a few friends, and their group was called the Encyclopedists, and it's called War of the Encyclopedists because it's about how they break apart and stuff, and it's a lot about friendship, and it's about very American people, very white people, but it was interesting to get this perspective, especially after reading The Last Illusion, on being in the Middle East and fighting a war. It's pretty long, but it's not dense, which I enjoyed. And a lot of the characters are really relatable, and the women are written pretty amazingly, considering it was written by two white guys. Finally, we are going to South America! Finally, not in the Eastern Hemisphere, we are back in America, baby, with The Private Lives of Trees by Alejandro Zambra. This is the English edition of the book, the English translation of the book, and I had the most amazing experience with this book because I went to a reading, and during the reading, Alejandro Zambra was there reading the Spanish, and next to him was his translator reading the English version, and I could understand most of both, which was so beyond cool. And of course, I got it signed, and he spelled my name right, and he wrote with a hug, but in Spanish, and I understand it, and I felt really good about that. And you can actually see a clip of that reading in my Leap Month video. This is a very, very short book, as you can see. It takes place in Chile. I probably should mention that in the Around the World Passenger Challenge. It's about this professor of literature who is just kind of there. The whole book kind of exists in one moment, and the moment is his wife isn't home yet, and his stepdaughter is home, and he's just kind of going through every single scenario possible for why his wife is late and not home yet. And from the very beginning, it says that this book will end when the wife comes home. And I read it in one sitting, pretty much. It was so compelling, and it was so poetic without being poetry, which is one of my favorite things in the world. I really loved this book, and I feel like I need to read it 3 times more to fully understand it. And I really want to read the Spanish version too, because it was just that good, and I want to read it in the original. So that is it for my giant pile of books. I hope you guys enjoyed this book challenge. It was really fun trying to find books from all over the world, and even though this was kind of American and British heavy, I definitely want to read more from everywhere, and I have a lot of books from everywhere else on my to read shelf back there. Yeah, I just gotta read faster and more. Thank you guys so much for watching. Read all of the books, all of them. They are fantastic. I will see you guys next time. I hope you have an amazing day, an amazing week. It is so beautiful out right now because spring is back. Spring is back, baby. Okay, I will see you all next time. I'm in a very silly mood. Bye! Yeah. Oh my god. Oh shit, the book file fell. The book file fell, everyone. Okay, let's put, yeah. Okay. That did not work out in my favor. Let's put these on the bed. Look at it! It's tulle and lovely. Okay, I'm done.